We are in the series of Jesus's I am statements. And yesterday we talked about Jesus saying, I am the bread of life. Today we are going to talk about Jesus's statement, I am the light of the world. And you can find this in John chapter 8, verses 12 through 20. You are watching Jenny's Biblical Messages. So let's start off in verse 12. When Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Even if I testify on my own behalf, my testimony is valid, for I know where I came from and where I am going, but you have no idea where I am going. But you have no idea where I came from or where I am going. You judge by human standards. I pass judgment on no one. But if I do judge, my decisions are true because I am not alone. I stand with the Father who sent me. I am one who testifies for myself. My other witness is the Father who sent me. Then they asked him, where is your Father? And he said, you do not know my Father. Jesus replied, if you knew me, you would know my Father also. So this was said, this is a dispute over Jesus' testimony, and this was said during the Feast of Tabernacles, where the Pharisees are questioning Jesus. And there's two things in here that I found really interesting. It was at the end here where he said, if you knew me, you would know my Father also. Explaining that you don't really know God unless you know Jesus. It explains how you have to have that relationship with Jesus and believe in him and know that he is your Messiah in order to know who God truly is. The second thing that I thought was interesting in here is when Jesus said, you judge by human standards, I pass judgment on no one, but if I do judge, my decisions are true. I think it's really important to walk and talk in love and in truth. And I think there's a lot of issues with this today. So, today in our time. I watched this movie the last few days, and it's called Ripple, and it's on Netflix. And the idea of the story is really good. It's basically like it's a ripple effect of how when one thing happens to somebody, it can affect another person. And it ends up that all these people have like this ripple effect, and they all end up meeting and going to this same bar where they meet. And there is one older gentleman in the movie, and his wife has died. His story is that he does not believe in the church. His wife died. He had the funeral. A woman from her church asked him to come to church with her. And he says, that's really not my thing. That was her thing. And I find this interesting because they showed the backstory on it. And the reason that this man didn't like church is because his father was a pastor. And his father was very strict and talked in truth. And even to the fact that like they couldn't dance or sing, around the house to regular music. And this boy's sister, the daughter, got in trouble and she ran out of the house. She was upset. She ended up dying. And the father was just basically stating, well, nothing bad will happen to her if we just pray. Well, I guess we didn't pray enough because, she died. instead of being frantic that his daughter had left the house. And so this really resonated with this little boy, and he was really upset with his father because his sister died. So he went completely out of the church. Well, the woman that was trying to get him into the new church, she was a lesbian, and there was a lot of like same-sex relationships that were in this show. And this kind of stuff doesn't bother me per se too much, because I have the discernment to know right from wrong, and that that is not the way that Jesus wants us to live our lives. But it is the way of the world. So no matter what we think about it, it's there. And it's something that we all know about. It's kind of in our faces now. TV shows and stuff didn't used to show that kind of stuff, but now they show it all the time. Anyways, they kind of talked about and decided that really the true meaning of life is just to love each other. And while loving each other and accepting each other, and while loving and accepting each other is all very good, you still also need to speak in truth. When Jesus was with the woman at the well, and he asked her about her husband, and she said, "I don't have a husband." And he said, "You're right, you've had 5 husbands, and now you're living with a man." And she was like, "How do you know this about me?" But he said, "Go and live your life and do not sin anymore." He showed love to her, but he also spoke truth to her. And as being disciples of Jesus, that's what we are called to do also. So what does all of this mean? I am the light of the world. It signifies Jesus's role in providing spiritual guidance, truth, and eternal life. The light is the eternal life. Jesus rescued us, humanity, from sin and darkness. Guidance and truth, they equal salvation. Life and hope means a new beginning. And exclusion of darkness, well, that's freedom. Divine authority is the fulfillment of God's presence. So we, as followers of Jesus, we are called to daily faith and discipleship in him, to walk in his life. And being disciples of Jesus just truly means that we tell people about Jesus, we always show them love, and we speak the truth. We have so many churches these days that are on one side or the other. They're all about truth, 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 and then they kind of suck anything fun out of it, because like this pastor in the show, he was truth, 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 but he was also like, you can't listen to music on the radio because that's sinful music. And while I don't listen to a lot of music on the radio, I listen to more Christian music, I still know that music. I still know it from my past. If it comes on the radio, I'll start singing it. I might start dancing to it. You're going to be at places where you're going to dance and sing and stuff, and you're just going to have fun with life. You just have to know the discernment of what it is that you're putting into your ears, what it is that you're watching, just like these shows. You have to know the discernment to know that even though they are doing this on the show and they are saying things on the show, it's not Jesus's way. It's not Jesus's way. And if you watch something like that and you get convicted in your stomach and you're just like, ugh. I mean, there's been shows that I've watched that I'm just like, I have to turn this off. This is way over the top, too much for me. And that does happen to me quite a bit. It didn't with this particular show. It wasn't anything that was really in your face. If it was, then I would have turned it off. But the part of the message was really good with the ripple effect, so it kind of kept me in. But then the part of the message that's just like everybody just has to love and accept each other, and if everybody just loves and accepts each other, then we're all going to be good. That's not the reality of life. And while we can love and we can accept, we also have to speak in truth so that these people know, because once they stop living in sin, they find that freedom that they need. So today I challenge you to do something to walk in the light of the Lord. Show his light to somebody out there. Have many blessings today.